Hello everyone, how's it going? Sorry to keep you waiting. It's been like 5 minutes. Really quickly had to do something. Because apparently you can't pop out chat anymore. So, wow, the webcam is closed. I forgot that the webcam is slightly different for this one. So, yeah, apparently on the new Twitch beta you can't pop out chat. It's not an option anymore, so I had to quickly switch out from the beta, which meant that if I swapped out from the beta, then, oh, what was it? If I swapped out, it played adverts, which had music, and I'm really sorry about that sudden, like, ear rape that happened there. But, hello, how you guys doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I hope you all had a good week. It's been a while since I've been on here, and, last week I had to, last week it was because my fire alarm was going off. It was going off like every, I keep saying 30, but apparently it's 40. It's going off every 40 seconds, and that's why I wasn't here, so I'm sorry. And then the week before, just couldn't stream. But, and then we're not here next week because it's the ZBrush Summit, so gonna have a little bit of a break, but I hope that everybody's doing good. Can you speak French? No. No, I cannot. Okay. So, we're not going to be working on trousers today, I'm sorry. I added like an extra seam, and that's why this is up. So, we are going to be... Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
We've got a coffee. So, for anybody who doesn't know, because I haven't been on here for a couple of weeks, I'm Unicorn Dev, and I'm a character artist. So I'm a freelance character artist in the UK. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna move this so it's more in the middle. There we go. With 3D character artist, we're going to be doing some props today because I have a sword to make. And this is my current character. I'm just going to grab this. So this is my current character. That's love someone that brings coffee. I know, I was like, I'm late. Can you please get me one? This is my current character. His name is Chasten. I've worked on him quite a bit since the last stream that we had. The last one we did, I think we were working on hair, which I still need to fix up. But I've added like all of his decoration parts. They're all on there now. We probably need to add some on the back as well. And today we're going to start working on his sword. I've done like a really crappy sculpt block-in. So this is like my really fast, not even symmetrical sword block-in. I'm going to quickly open up to make sure there wasn't anything funny on that. So we have these swords we need to make. I'm going to model some of it in Maya and then I'm going to sculpt a lot of it as well. We're going to see how that goes. So this is really terrible. It's just a DynaMesh object. Love the accessories. Thank you. Hey Josh, how's it going? How are you today? I am a Maya spy. We are a Maya spy. Is it for a game? No, but it will be game ready. So a lot of, show you guys something else that I've been working on since the stream. Everything that I do, I don't just do sculptures. I'm trying to lean away from just doing sculptures. Everything that I do all becomes game res. So this is an example. This is a game res model. Let's go to wireframe. So this is a game res model that was made from a sculpture, which I can show you guys. Let's quickly save over this. Which has been rigged now, actually. I'm just waiting for some revisions. So we can open that up. Fantastico. Muy excelente, thank you. So this is the 3D sculpt that I did. I'm just gonna get rid of this because this is an old one. So they all start kind of from these sculptures and then I retopo them, unwrap them, texture them. And this one is actually doesn't have any normal information. I use the sculpture as a way to paint the textures, but there's no normal. Everything is flat color and it's unlit. And then the weapon is in here somewhere as well. Let's just put auto collapse on. I think it's down here. There it is. Yeah. So all the props I make end up really squishy and disgusting, like the sword I showed you, and then I end up cleaning it up with a mixture of modeling stuff and DynaMeshing and probably a little bit maybe of live boolean on this, but probably mostly just clip curve to try and get those nice sharp edges. The blade itself I'm just going to model, but everything else will probably be done in ZBrush. But there's not really any information on this, so we kind of have to figure it out as we go. So let me know how the volume is, because I know that on, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Because I know that on YouTube people prefer it to be a little bit quieter on the ZBrush ones. Not sure if it might be, yeah, it might be a little bit too loud. There we go. Okay. Can't stop because I have assignments to do. Yeah, good luck. Good luck on your assignments. Let's merge this down so then I can just set it to solo but turn everything else on. So I'm just gonna put Chasten down here so then you guys can kind of see who I'm working on. So I'm probably just going to decimate this and bring it into Maya so I can use it as like a size guide and quickly model out some base shapes to bring in. And I might do a sketch over on this as well actually, because I don't quite know what these shapes are. I'm probably going to have to draw over it just to figure them out really quick. I have an idea in my head of kind of what I want to do, as I think that this part here looks like it clips off. So I'm going to do a super quick sketch over of the handle, get an idea of what that is. And Dink, congratulations again on working full-time on your game. It's very exciting, it's really cool. Alright, so I'm just going to plan this out a little bit. A little bit longer. Copy that. Okay. Lock it, new layer. We're going with some red. Hey Eric, how's it going? So how I kind of see it is that this is a piece that sits separately to this part. Maybe I should look up the anatomy of a sword actually so I can know what these are called. And then there's a part here. And this is what he holds on to. And this is one part, and that's got like a rivet or something on it. And then the next part is this handle. And that looks like it kind of sits sheath kind of underneath, like that maybe. This is the part that holds the sword in. Pommel, grip, guard, cross guard, blade. Okay, so that's the pommel, that's the grip, that's the guard. So this is the guard. No, this is the grip, and then this is... Rain guard is the bit that the blade goes through. Okay. Hey Tomar, how are you doing? It's been ages. Hope you're doing well. So I actually think that all of this here, so that kind of goes under there. And he's got this disc shape. Do that in green. Summit is close, are you excited? Well, I haven't streamed in a couple of weeks, so this is kind of like a disc shape. Hey Exploder, how you doing today? Okay. Now, is that a shine or is that a gap? I guess is what we need to figure out. I'm gonna say that it's a shine that kind of goes down. Sulferis, hello! You with your cute emotes. People just say win. Okay, I'll try to remember to say that instead. Okay. So. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. I guess that this part kind of has like this. Okay. So this part I'm probably just going to straight up sculpt. Everything else I'm probably going to model real quick and then sculpt on top of it to get the shapes. And then we've got like patterns and stuff inside of them as well. And then the sword. I'm not sure if that's a shadow, but I kind of saw it as if the blade kind of looked like that. Could also just be because of that piece here that sits over the top. Ooh, which looks like it kind of actually does this a little bit. So I'm gonna do that. And then we've got the blade underneath. So we need to look up a double-edged blade. What kind of sword would this be? Let's quickly look them up. So we need to look at the way that the blade is constructed because it's quite thin. You could also look up types of sword. So, gotta do your research. Bum, 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 bum. There's a single edge, types of pommel, grip, crossguard. Doesn't have a crossguard though. Okay, let's just look at types of sword and then we can just make it double edged, that's fine. Just to narrow it down a bit because it has this kind of guard on it. So what's 26? Let's lean in, let's have a look. Look at my hairline for a while. 12, 18, 14, and it doesn't have it on that page. This is maybe 13? Heavy, oh, a saber maybe. Okay, 1 minute, saber. Not the anime girl. Saber, sword. Okay. Awesome, thank you. Because that's one-sided. So maybe we should make it one-sided rather than double-sided, just for the sake of... think that's a double, is it? It doesn't look... It just looks... Yeah, it just looks thicker at the top. Kind of need this. So I'm just gonna slam a bunch of images into here. So these are all my gene reference. Just gonna scale those down. Let's put swords over here. I'm gonna make a sword today also. You've inspired me. Yay! I'm glad. Just gonna kind of grab Not sure if I'm gonna add, I could add a slight curve to it because his design has a lot of curves, so could totally work to do that. Let's grab that one as well. Pop that there. This up here. It's called Pure Ref. It's free! Oh, I'm gonna close this. Okay, I think I've got a good set of images now to kind of work from. You can donate, and I would suggest to, because I donated to it. I use it like every day. I can't think of a day that I haven't done art and I haven't had it. Whoa, that pommel is massive. Okay, so I have a bunch of images now that we're just going to use as our reference. I'm going to kind of crop it down a bit so it's not quite as big. I'm going to open up Maya. Oh, Angel, I'm sorry. Hi, how you doing? So now that the Smooch Monster is done, I started a new character. It'd be cool if you could give some crit on it. Yeah, I could quickly give you some feedback. I really like the mask design. The things I would have to say is that when you have things like this that go over cloth, there's going to be tension in this jacket, because if these are pulling it closed, you're going to see that string pulling up against it, and you're going to see like a bend in the fabric. Then I'd probably make these ropes a lot thicker, because this looks quite stylized to me. Like, it's quite a stylized look. But these strings are very, very thin. So I would probably thicken them up by about 50% maybe to chunk them out because they're getting very lost in your design right now. And then the eye design, maybe I'd make it asymmetrical, make one side a bit smaller and a little bit different than the other. I think that'll add a lot of that kind of like spooky feeling to it, that it feels more handmade than machine made. Because when you make stuff by hand, it's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. There are a lot of people who do that and are amazing at doing that, but I think you can add a lot more of a natural element to it if you make them a bit different from each other. And then it'll kind of freak people out, because I think one of the cool things about the new It design with Pennywise is that one of his eyes is slightly lazy, and that kind of little bit of symmetry being thrown off is really creepy. So I think if you kind of mess up the eyes a little bit more, it'd be really cool. Okay, so welcome Juman, how's it going? Or is it Juman? Do you say the J? So I'm gonna take this and we're gonna super quickly decimate it so I can export it into Maya without crying. Probably put it down to about 10. Sapna, hello! And then we're going to export it. Call this sword base Maya import. Bana. Actually, you know what I might do is open up Chasten's actual scene, so I'm keeping everything in one place, and then import it. There we go. So there it is. I'm gonna hide these. I'm doing good, Sap. How are you? You say the J. Okay, Juman. Sword by spikes, and I've got a bunch of people putting blades through. Oh no! Oh no! Shut up! Oh! Shut up! Think! No! Shut up! No! Juman. Juman. Dude, it's my accent, I'm sorry. I'm just terrible at this. So, I'm gonna bring this in here. And I'm gonna build the blade first. So I'm gonna start with like a super simple box. And these are just going to be base meshes that I'm going to bring into Maya just to give me something a bit more to work with. Just snap the pivot to that corner. Run an edge down the middle. A lot of realism comes in texture, so it's how you handle the surfaces in terms of like what material is it. You know, you've got no material definition on your model anywhere that tells you what he's made of, or you know, like what's going on there at all. So I'm just gonna center its pivot, set it to 0, because I'm just going to use symmetry. Keep going to the wrong view. There we go. So I think once you work with it a little bit more, I would still probably thicken up the strings because they seem too thin to me. friends pronounce it way worse than you. Nice! I'm glad to know that people do it worse than me. Okay. So this is the hard part about when it comes to looking at swords, is because you can't get an idea of their thickness. Yeah, the dentist was the worst. No, it was really good, but my mouth still hurts. I love to do modeling, but I'm suffering from back pain. How do you convert a ZMOV to a MOV file? No idea. So I'm trying to think in my head the thickness of these surfaces. Because down here, if we just grab this, quickly put a loop. So down here is the thickest because it sticks to the handle. And then it kind of gets sharper as it goes down. It kind of keeps its thickness a little bit up here. So I'm just going to put an edge through there. Perfect, thank you. But then the question is, do I really want it to come to a point like that? Because if I do that, it makes it really hard to sculpt on because that surface is basically going to 0. So I'm just going to quickly, try moving it in instead of so it's thin, but it's not the thinnest, and then probably grab this edge and shove it down a little bit. Redirect this geometry a little bit. And turn on. Okay, so it's got a little bit of a thickness to it. And that's not connected anymore. Sorry guys. That's a bad loop because it comes all the way down here. But what I want to do is kind of bevel this. So then it's sharper on top. Okay, there's some kind of sword thing going on there. Just gonna get rid of this. Connect up these edges. And then kind of divert this edge flow down here. My blade has a hook at the end. Fun. That's probably fine. Subdivide it, see what happens. It's going to be a little bit of a pain to kind of get in the extra details that I want in ZBrush, but I think it's a good base to work from. So probably going to use live boolean to kind of get in the, like the, where is it? It's on here somewhere. So to get like this sharp edge will be a lot to do with texture, but also I'm probably going to use live boolean to kind of cut that out by just stretching out a big sphere. So we've got our blade base, pretty simple. Let's quickly get in our, I think this was called the, oh, I don't have a thing for it. Let's look it up on that sword, now it's me. Not the rain guard, it's the cross guard. Okay, so this is the cross guard. We're gonna just gonna snap this pivot to here and then snap it to probably about there. It does sound a lot easier than it actually is. When you're like, let's model a sword. Oh, that's just a long rectangle, right? And because it's kind of sci-fi, but also fantasy, like his design is quite, I don't know, I see it kind of like the new Final Fantasy movie. So there has to be some kind of like element of it being quite modern as well. Good morning to you, Priors. How's it going? Modeling only leads to suffering. Wow. Fly, get out of my face. I've already killed like 3 flies this morning. Alright. So you gotta do the cross guard, which is kind of like if I were to connect these all up and then scale this up. It's pretty much what its shape is. Because symmetry is on, that's not gonna work very well. It's just gonna... There you go. Scale it up, scale that down. Oops, snap still on. There you go. So I'm going to bring this down quite a lot, and then, so my kind of trick for this is that what I'm going to do is make sure that it subdivides well, so when I bring it into ZBrush, I get all the edges sharp in the right place that I want it. Just like that vertex, I'm just going to snap it to the height of those ones. So because this is quite round, I'm just quickly going to throw a bevel on there. And then I'm going to seems quite more so flat on the top than it is on the bottom. So grab these, shove it a little bit more like that. And then we're gonna put a tight bevel on there. So if I smooth it, it looks okay. There's still going to be some issues with the smoothing though, because of all these triangles, so we need to kind of remove those. Smooth it again, it looks a little bit better, but kind of goes there. Might be a little bit too big. Nah, it looks fine because we need to put the rain guard in here. You tell me I'm freelancing pure katanas with a lot of details. Oh my gosh. They're really good, better than now? Better now, awesome. Add a quick box. So I'm gonna put the rain guard in. This I'm mostly gonna sculpt in ZBrush, but to be honest, I could have actually just done it on the X. Just been like, boop, there we go. So, rain guard piece 1, rain guard piece 2. I think one sits on top of the other, so I'm just gonna make this one a little bit wider. Hey Pro, how you doing today? And then I'm probably gonna add to this cross guard, probably gonna add another cylinder, just to help with that connection there. Just to kind of make it a little bit smoother. So probably something like that maybe. And then to be honest, I kind of don't like it being that round on top, so I'm just going to snap that to that height like that. Add a little bit of bevel. Set a ticket ZBrush, can't get it to work, reinstalled more than once for the same result, white screen of no. Okay. Well, I hope that they can fix that for you. I always found that when I send a ticket, they seem to be quite fast at getting back to me. And hey Shati, how you doing today? We're making a sword. Add a quick bevel. Connect that up. It's just about, when it subdivides, it averages the distance between two vertices. So what I'm trying to do is just add a little bit of kind of like buffer to say, don't travel that far. Because if I didn't have these bevels here, it would travel all the way from here to here, and then it would be too soft. So I want to make sure that I've got enough edge loops in there to keep it nice. Okay. And then probably what I'm going to do is delete this. These. And bevel that. There you go, that looks a bit better to me. Smooth is my best friend at work. I sound like I've got a bit of a cold. Maybe I'm talking a little bit quieter than usual, probably. I did have a cold a few days ago, so maybe that's why I sound like I'm putting off a little bit of the same sound. So rather than that being round, I might just turn off symmetry. Just bring this in so maybe it has more of this kind of shape. That looks a little bit less cute. Hey Ray March, I do know a little bit about it, I guess. Oh, he's gone. I was gonna ask if you wanted to go to Nando's after this. I got my last paycheck, so I want to go out to dinner. I want to do something. I don't want to be in the house. Plus, I sent off some work for a client to be approved, and I'm not going to hear back till Monday, so excited! Man, so many exciting things. So many exciting things going on today. Nando's does sound good. I really wanted Nando's chicken yesterday, but we had quesadillas, and quesadillas are like, love them. Could have quesadillas all day now that I think about it. Let's retweet Pixelogic's thing, because I never seem to do that. Aw, yay! They used my Chasten model. I guess that's the last thing that I did on the stream then. I was like, I don't know what I did last time. What did we do last time? So I'm going to sculpt this handle by hand. So we're going to quickly add in a grip. So the grips don't look perfectly round. What he's got is something that's perfectly round. From what I can see, it doesn't look like there's any particular shape to it. I am going full-time freelance. That's it now. Quite excited. So I'm now a full-time freelancer. That's what I'm going to tell people. So what I'm going to do is take the pivot to that point, and I'm going to snap it to the center of this so they both sit at the exact same point.
Oh, fuckers.
And then we're going to bring it all the way up to there. And match the same proportions. What I might do is now, I still kind of want to keep something to kind of help that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Sword design looks interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit of a I have no idea. That's like, this here is literally a 3D artist's worst nightmare. It's like, what am I looking at? But to be honest, he hasn't designed this for somebody to work from. It's just there as a design thing. I can pick up enough information that I can work from. There's no back design. I had to design the back myself, but once again, it's not decided or it's not being designed for a 3D artist to work from. So you can't really expect too much a lot of the time. But if anything, I find that if you work from concepts that don't have, you know, front, side, back shots, and you just kind of, I guess, like learn to figure out that stuff yourself pretty early on, you can like become a pretty independent 3D artist. When you do have somebody who can sit and kind of like figure that stuff all out for you and kind of like tell you what they're thinking in their brain, so you don't get it wrong, that's always incredibly helpful. But very rarely do you actually get something like that. So if you're able to figure it out yourself and still come up with a pretty competent and amazing looking design by taking into account the design theory that he's put in this piece. So if I pick up the shape language and I figure out, because I can't really see what's going on here, but I kind of figured it out based on these pieces or based on these pieces here. I'm using elements of his design to help influence the design that I put into places that he doesn't have. Like this, what? I bet there'll be like 30 different ways you could interpret what this is, like what shapes are there. So yeah. It's kind of about taking what he's already made and using that to inform the correct decisions. I see what you mean. I thought you did all that. No, I literally just have one drawing. Yes, everything has to be completely coherent with what he's already created. So in terms of shape language, if we look at the concept, the things that I have the most detail for and the most understanding of would have to be these belt buckles. I can see, and these pieces here. I can kind of see what's going on. I can see with these patterns kind of what he's trying to do. And the main thing when it comes to kind of understanding what he's got is that he has a lot of really nice sharp straight edges in places that he wants strength. So the jacket's quite straight. There's not a lot of information in the legs because he wants those to be quite strong. And then he's got these really nice, everything is a swirl. It's kind of like this particular curve everywhere in the design next to straights. So he's got a curve here next to a straight edge. And then there's like a straight edge here next to curves. So these are your strong triangles shaped like straight edges. And then he puts curves next to them. And then again, straight edge, curve. So that's kind of what he's trying to do all over his design. And that's what I need to make sure that I keep in my interpretation of it, because that's the whole core of what he's based this design around. So he's a strong character, but very like ornamental. And a lot of the time, the concept artists don't know that they've done that. Like, it's all like a natural feeling a lot of the time, but it's kind of my job to break that down and figure out what rules that he's set so I can follow them, even if they don't give me like a lot of information. So the pommel is just another cylinder. What I'm probably going to do is once again snap the pivot to the middle and then snap the mesh to the middle of this, and then make this a little bit bigger and set it a little bit. The ornaments really break the simplicity of the jacket. I love this design. Yeah, so he's got a very strong jacket. It's very simple, very straight, not a lot of creases because it's made out of like, we're saying like a felt material almost, or like made of wool. So it's quite a strong, straight jacket. And even the cloth on his, under his cape is quite simple. The belts are really simple. And then he just kind of throws little parts of complexity in there in a really nice balanced way. So I like it a lot. Coffee time, my favorite time. He will probably be rigged up, but not in a very good way, because it'll probably be me that does it. Unless I can hire someone to do it for me. Sorry, excuse me. I'm gonna go for stylized PBR Asin, not realistic. And I need to build this little piece here that kind of comes off of this piece, so. It's going to go all the way down here actually. Oh damn, that only went all the way down there. Okay, one sec. How many loops did you do on the sharp edge of the blade? Barely any right now. I'm gonna come back to that. Because I'm probably just gonna DynaMesh that. Let's do that again, sorry. Just gonna remove a couple of these so I can play with the shape a little bit better. There we go. Look how great that looks. Ooh, boy. See how ZBrush likes this. Okay. So, super weird, but it does the trick. Might make it a little bit wider. Okay. Those N-gons is fine, ZBrush will like them. Okay, so now we have this kind of weird base mesh. I probably spent a little bit too long on it. Just gonna get some reeds. Sword base. Put this somewhere else. But then just put it in here. And then now we're actually in ZBrush. Just insert a dummy shape. Okay, so I didn't like it too much. But I've had this happen before where if I actually import them all as separate pieces, it does fine. But it's probably this part that I didn't like. So let's go to bam bam. Let's import these separately. Nope. N-gons are fine. It's just because it triangulates it for you. Okay. Bam, bam. I actually didn't bevel this, I should. I thought I did do that, but apparently I didn't. Yeah, I'm probably just going to turbo smooth it and then bring it in. Fly, die! No! They were on my hand, what little dicks. Ugh. There we go. Alright, that worked. Okay. What is this? Okay. X normal hates them. Well, just don't use X normal. Okay. So let's see, that seems fine. Let's go to auto group and then split, group split. So now everything's in a different group. Okay, there's our base. It's kind of how that's looking. So now let's actually do some sculpting, huh? Let's stop being a Maya spy. Oh my god, it's going through his face. Just like, bleh. Why are you redoing the sword, or is this another one? So this was my really rough DynaMesh sculpt of the sword. And now this is going to be the for real one, basically. So this is the rough one that looks kind of bad, and then this is going to be the for real one. So I always like to kind of do like a really fast version of it before, to get the idea of like the proportion and kind of what shapes I want to stick in, and then I rebuild it afterwards. So we need symmetry, but I think it's along the z-axis we want. Don't want the x. It's the x. Oh, it's the X, okay. Okay. How do you like this? What's this? Better. I think the strings could still look tighter around these little parts. Normally when you have a button that has a string around it like that, the string sits underneath it. I can't quite tell if it is or not actually from this view. Yeah, the string normally sits underneath whatever this is, otherwise it could slip off. So what you'll probably find is that you'll have a shape so let's say this is the button. You'll probably find that you have a shape a little bit more like this. And that's what makes it look like there's like a tension on it, because they kind of sit around it like this at the back. So I might make this even wider. So what I can do, I'm just gonna, I wish there was a shortcut for snapping it to the surface. A little bit more curved this way. And then I'm probably going to make it go thinner. Totally thought what I'm going to sculpt next. What is it? Van Gogh. Do it, but do it like in his style. That'd be rad. So like lots of really sharp edges. You gonna do that on stream as well, Eric? Yeah, dude, do it. Sounds exciting. Flatten that off a little bit. Okay. So I'm not sure if I should add kind of like a flat edge to it a little bit. Just something to kind of I don't know, just a different shape maybe. So it's not just a cylinder, because that looks kind of boring. Add a little bit more, because I can't imagine a cylinder, just a straight up cylinder of like black metal is very easy to hold. So we could shape this up a little bit to kind of have a little bit of a different shape. It should have 5 sides, just like the N-gons I love. It does make sense. So I kind of want to merge these two pieces together eventually, so... Work for Star Trek. Oh, Star Wars. Yeah, but they probably had some kind of grip. N-gons are totes fine. I'm still going to stand by that. Just only on flat surfaces. Otherwise they do what you saw that they did. Because basically ZBrush will decide how it wants to subdivide that. It decides how it wants to triangulate it. And that's what you saw happen. It was like, oh, I'm going to triangulate it this way. And then you get errors like that. That's why N-gons are bad, basically. But if you have loads of N-gons on a flat surface, then it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Might grab this shape and copy it. Put it down here as well, because the handle guard. I guess this is the hand guard. I'd have to say that's probably what it is, right? What's it called? They're called quillions? I don't know, just looking at some images. It says quillion. What are those little thingies called that protect your hand? Yeah, just guard. Let's just call it a guard, why not? Hey Fizz, how's it going? It's quite small, but quite thick. Stick it about there. And then this handle part sticks to it. So I'm just going to really quickly insert a plane, and that's just so then I can use it as a guide for a, where is it? Let's go to, it's in display properties, double. So I'm just going to use this because I want to create the handle out of a curve tube. Is it fixed? Yes. Yesterday it was being a bit funny. And I probably want to do it this way. Or we can just do it transparent maybe. There we go. And we're just going to do this. Split on mass parts. Yeah, N-gons are useful for hard surface modeling. As long as it's not, as long as it subdivides and looks good, you're fine. Okay. So there's our kind of handle. And this is going to be the part that needs the most work, because it's going to be 100% sculpted. So I'm probably just going to use a lot of clip curve, like trim curve for days. Same for this piece as well, probably going to use trim curve to get that kind of shape. Yeah, I'm just much faster at Maya. Plus, the way that ZModeler works is a little bit different to what I'm used to. in terms of like what the actual tools, not what the tools do, but it's kind of like if I were to say I should legit be able to bevel this surface, there'll be a few reasons in ZBrush why I can't, but then with Maya I can pretty much just with Maya I can just force it in and just get whatever I need to get done. So I'm much faster with Maya than I am with ZBrush, and that's why. ZModeler, what I use it for technically, well, what I use it for more so than anything else is just beveling or deleting edges. I don't use it particularly for much else. If I have to bridge something, sometimes I use it, but normally it's like for beveling or deleting edges. I don't really use it for particularly anything else. Okay, so now I kind of have my base in. I'm going to select this one and just move it up so I can still see it, but it's not in the way anymore. Sometimes I use a tablet while modeling in Maya if my wrist really hurts. Normally I use a mouse. I might go get a cardigan, it's getting a little bit cold. It wasn't cold earlier. I might be right back. I take the mouse abuse as long as possible. Well, the thing is, my mouse is, I'm just gonna get like a red light on my face. My mouse is pretty easy to use. I have a vertical one. So with that, I can actually model for quite a long time. The thing that I can't do with a mouse is retopo, and that's because it's lots of clicking. At least with Maya, you have a break between them. I don't know why it's different, but it's like you do like 4 clicks, fill, 4 clicks, fill. Doing that for hours as my mouse hurts, I find it so much easier to do with a tablet. Somebody know how to export multiple subtools into one single OBJ? What I normally do is have all the subtools that I want to export. So let's say I wanted to put all of these into one subtool. I just go to merge visible, go to the new tool, and then everything's merged, and then export that. So if you want to export multiple stuff as one OBJ, I would probably merge visible, go to the new tool, and then export it from there. That's how I do it anyway. If there is a fancy way to do it, like in the Subtool Master. But I think Subtool Master does it as well, where when you export, it does export visible subtools, but it does them separately. It doesn't do them as one. But yeah, I bet there is a way. Multi-map exporter. Export mesh. Export mesh as an OBJ from subdivision level set to displacement. Maybe that. So I like gauze that export subtools as mesh groups. Yeah, I like that too. Though I can't use gauze. Alright, so okay, I'm gonna quickly go get a cardigan because it's getting a bit cold. Be right back. I need something on my body. It's getting chilly. Suited and booted. I can't use it. Oh, it just doesn't work with my version of Maya. It seems to create a new file every time, but to be honest, I don't really use it, so it's not any loss to me. I think it's because I was using Maya 2000. I used Maya 2017. I've been using it for a while, and Gauze didn't work for that because it didn't have Mental Ray, which they fixed with R8, but I haven't downloaded it, so could probably use it again. But until R8, I couldn't use it because it didn't have Mental Ray. Okay. So I'm just going to DynaMesh this. Let's just go to 500 and let's see what that's like. There you go. Yeah, you have to install Mental Ray, which is like £500 a month or something. Or is it like a year or something? Yeah, it's like 500 a year to get Mental Ray. That's the thing, it's like I have to have Mental Ray for it to work. But apparently they fixed it in the newest ZBrush. I haven't tried it yet though. So I'm pretty much just gonna start fudging in this shape. And this kind of attaches to this. And then I'll have to check that out, Exploder, but like I said, I don't really use it, so it's not too much of a problem for me. Trim curve. So, just going to start slicing off some parts. Just every time you want to add a curve to it, just press Alt and it'll do it. I might just start kind of adding an angle to it a little bit. use Damn Standard to try and pick up a bit of an edge. So I've done this a lot on his other deco pieces, so I kind of want to keep that going. Just use mask. If I want like a sharp turn, kind of like that, I'll always mask off one part and then kind of push it up against the edge to get that sharp edge. Let's just quickly DynaMesh that so I can go in and kind of hard polish a little bit more. And then this looks like it probably comes to a point rather than being flat. So it's gonna get a little bit messy there now. Just gonna smooth it out, bring it out again. Seems like this is much wider at the front. And then once I've sculpted it, I'm probably going to do like a retopo over the top to bring it all back together. We have to go in and deflate this a little bit. So this actually meets all the way up to the top of the pommel, so I'm just gonna move this down as well. Very slightly beef this up a little bit. Hey Craig, how you doing? papayas, thank you. I'll probably DynaMesh this. Let's grab snake hook. Oops, wrong one. Because this kind of does this. Oop. Does this as well. Just DynaMesh this one as well. Need to add a bit of thickness to the edge because that's a little bit funny there. Probably going to so what I'm going to do is build two of the same sword, but because one is from his friend that's passed away, we're going to texture one to be a little bit more battered up. Maybe I'll model it to be a little bit more battled up, like kind of battered and more damaged, so it kind of tells more of a story. So be sad and interested. So we basically made a story for this character where why would he be carrying two swords? Because it doesn't really make any sense. So the story that we came up with is that he is an elf in a human realm, and he was in the army, I think we said. What did we say? It's basically high up in the military, and him and his friend were both put into a covert operation to basically shut down the war that's been going on for like, I think we said like 50 years. So it's like a 50-year war that's been going on. Him and his friend were supposed to be in a secret mission to help in the secret mission, and then basically it was kind of set up that during the mission on the side that they were on, the people who sent them set it up that they would both die on that mission deliberately. And his friend died, and so he uses his friend's sword. That's why he has two. And it's like as a way to remember him. Yeah, he has this big story of vengeance because he works now as a royal guard, but all he wants is to take down the people that he's basically having to protect now. And he's kind of working his way up the ranks so that he can like throw everyone out of power, which is kind of fun. And that's why he's got a grumpy face. No, I don't like clay polish. I don't know, it just doesn't sit with me. How did you make the armor and the shoulders, mask and extract? The shoulder pad parts are actually built in Maya. Let's quickly pop this up here. It's going through him. Let's move this down to be there we go. So the shoulder pads are actually built in Maya, and then I brought them into, I did like a really fast sculpt of them, kind of the same as I did with the sword. So I make a really rough DynaMesh sculpt, bring it into Maya, remodel it, bring it back in. Then I used panel loops to basically add thickness to it. And then these parts here, these aren't done yet. This is just a curve tube, which is put around the edge of it. And then I just deleted some edge loops to kind of make this pointed part. But they need a lot of polish before they're finished. And then these down here are just curve tubes, is what, like, again. So yeah, a lot of like hard surface stuff, I'll sculpt it and then remodel it and then bring it in and then touch it up. That's how those were made. And then like all of these little pieces here are all made just by sculpting with DynaMesh. So they're super rough when you get really close to them, but as long as they look good from a distance, that's what matters. Impaled by his own elven blade. 2 accounts? No, I stream for ZBrush on Saturdays. There's like a whole bunch of different streamers. How do you put that ref up there? It's called Pure Ref. And I love it. Hey Melly, how's it going? Sword. I keep showing people, but the trousers are my favorite part and you don't even see them. Keep telling you, you can't even see my favorite part of the trousers because they're hidden by the jacket, which is like, ah, lame. Oh, and for somebody who asked me how did I make the blade, that's modeled in Maya. I didn't do that in ZBrush. Let's add wind effects to show his awesome pant legs, but not too high because he doesn't have a torso. He's just legs. He's just legs and a coat. Slept until 12 and feeling very weird. I have no idea how I stayed in bed so late. His character's looking more awesome. Thank you. Those are some nice trousers. See, you guys will know. You guys will know what my favorite part is when it's done. Well endowed onto those trousers. Now he's got a flat butt. I'm gonna pretend that you mean his butt, by the way. Alpha keeps fighting me about his flat butt, but I think it's cute. And he's single, ladies. Mm-hmm. Playing around with the shapes a little bit. How long have I spent on this sculpt so far? Oh god, I wouldn't be able to tell you really. I've been taking a lot of time like on and off, so it took like a few weeks where I wasn't working on him and all that stuff, so I don't know. Are the vids of this also posted to your channel? I'd love to see how you started with the clothes. I'm debating on using Marvelous, but I'm scared to start my trial. How long? So there are videos of when I started Chasten on my own channel. I can't listen to the song because that noise really annoys me. But I actually did it in Maya. Once again, so my generic workflow for this kind of stuff, let's just group those and hide them. It's in here. So what I did for the jacket was I extracted it from the body mesh in ZBrush. I then retopoed it, and then from the retopo, I then brought it back into ZBrush and kind of changed the forms a little bit when it's in its low poly form like this. Like this part here where I added some tension for where the belts would go, and all this stuff was like kind of done it between Maya and ZBrush. And then I built these panels in Maya, and then just welded them onto the jacket basically. So yeah, I built these panels as like their own thing. Split the mesh in half and just kind of pulled one side over to make it look like the jacket was overlapping like that. So that was, pulling that side over I think was done in ZBrush because I just shifted it all with the move brush, and then yeah. Then I bring it into ZBrush and then I panel loop it, which is what gives it thickness, because it's much easier to work with jackets and stuff when you don't have thickness on it, and do the thickness last, basically. So if we like turn everything on, turn off the swords. So yeah. That's how that's done, and then the hood is a dirty trick, because the hood is just, once again, a retopoed mesh that I just kind of stick on top and hide in all the right places, so it looks kind of like it works, but it doesn't really work. I don't think there's like any, yeah, there's some special poly groups on there where like one side is poly grouped against the other, so if I need to move them I can. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, it's kind of like how I work a lot of the time is working between ZBrush and Maya a lot. I swap between the two as often as I can. And the belts are built in Maya. I made like a really quick boot mesh as well. Where is it? So the boots, I kind of made a base mesh in Maya. I built the tread by retopoing these patterns on and then extracting them and then DynaMeshing them together. These are built just by extracting. That's an extract. These are done in Maya. These are done in Maya. This base mesh was done in Maya, but then, what is that? Oh my gosh. Apparently I have 6 new messages. Don't know why. Can anyone tell me how to fix the size problems when exporting and importing from Max to ZBrush, from ZBrush to Max? Normally everyone uses gauze for that if you're having a problem. The object's always huge when I import into ZBrush. What I often do is... Are you importing it when you have a poly mesh like this? Because what I find is that if I just import it on top of another existing mesh, I'll have like terrible sizes. But if I do it on this, then it won't be messed up. Plus there's unify, yeah. You could unify the sizes. Ooh, it's gotten stabbed just like his friend, lol. Tragic backstories, haha. Boop. What was wicked? Do 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 do. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep fudging around with this shape. Just gonna keep. I don't want anything final or anything to look final, because normally how I'm gonna finish this is by then going in and retopoing over the top of it to make it look good. So it's just all about kind of exploring what kind of shape I want. Oh, right, okay. I was like, what did I do that was wicked? I don't know. How to scale the draw size? My one is way too big. Oh, that means because your mesh is way too small. I would make your mesh bigger. 2BH. So trying to figure out how these two pieces meet, because what he's got doesn't really make a lot of sense unless this isn't. Oop. Oh no! Boop. God damn it. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that this actually isn't completely round. It's probably this kind of shape. And that's the only way. Because then otherwise I'm just making things wider and wider. And then I kind of think that this comes up more at kind of this kind of shape. It's gonna look a little bit mushy for a sec, you guys. The angle's getting messed up this way. Ah, oh, damn it. Yes. Okay. Morning, Peanut Overlord. How you doing today? Okay. Do I just want it to be a straight up swoop? I think if I go for the swoop, then I need to thicken up this back to kind of support that. Yeah, no, Dorian's just asking for food really early on, so he just gets very needy and very meowy around this time, even though he doesn't get fed for like another 3 hours. Oh my god, we're almost out of time and I've barely done anything. Damn. I'm sorry, guys. This has been a bit of a shit stream. Alright. I'm just gonna have a bit more fun just kind of exploring what we can do with these. First time watching your stream. What are you doing there? We're sculpting a sword. So I just got this sword for a character that I'm working on, and I'm just trying to figure out the design and kind of bring it together a little bit. Hey Ixie, how you doing? Sword hilt is mint, thank you. Now uni, it's Gucci. Oh man, we have like 45 minutes left and I don't feel like I've done very much. This is what I have so far. Okay. It's good. I feel like some of these extra details you're putting in the cloth don't make a lot of sense. I would maybe put in the really large forms first in terms of like creases and figure those out and nail them, and then those large forms will help inform you on where these little ones will be, because I feel like it feels a little bit too random in a way that doesn't particularly make a lot of sense. Like this one here going across this one doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'd maybe sit and build in, take a bit more time to build in the really big details and then work your way down to the smaller ones, because it looks like you started going down to about, let's say like detail 1 is like the really big chunky folds, which would be like this one here. And then, but then you've kind of skipped to detail 4 almost with these ones. So I think you could spend a little bit more time building in the form for it a little bit more. Ooh. I feel like maybe these two parts are like 2 different pieces, and I'm having trouble blending them together because they're 2 different pieces. So I'm probably gonna go to split, group split. Ooh, what is that? Be gone, demon. I'm probably gonna build them like they're 2 different pieces. Come back to it. Because this is supposed to be kind of like a bowl shape. It's kind of how I see it. And then this piece, I always kind of see as being like a lot smaller there. And then we can just kind of insert it in. I think I'll have a go at your UI, it looks really handy. Oh, thank you. Any button that I use is pretty much out and about. I don't like to use shortcuts. I don't think I've ever set up a shortcut in ZBrush for anything. I I only have like 1 or 2 in Maya. I have one shortcut that extrudes a face, and that's it. I don't have anything else. Morning, Nia. How you doing? I'm all about them buttons. I'm all about the buttons. Okay, and I'm probably gonna split these 2 pieces off as well. Group it, split, group split. Then this piece has like a swirl on it or something. We're gonna shove it out a little bit more. Boop. It's kind of like swirl. This piece has this on it. My work during the stream. Ooh, I want to see. I love shortcuts for brushes. Man, I'm the worst. I don't do any of that. Doesn't extrude have a shortcut by default? Yeah, but it wasn't as simple as the one that I gave it. I gave it Control E, and that's something else. So I did Control E as my thing, because it was like Control Shift something. I was just like, nah, Control E. So yeah, didn't even give it a shortcut. I just changed it. This looks really cool. I really like this design. This is awesome. I don't think I work that fast. I think I'm pretty slow. But then I think everyone probably says that. Probably not the only one that's like, I'm so slow. I'm really bad at like overestimating stuff as well. Control E is extrude. It didn't used to be on 15. Trust me. On 15 it was probably something else, because that's what I set it to at work. There you go. Didn't even set a shortcut for anything, you guys. Shortcut was already there apparently. But I guess if I want to freelance, I gotta get fast. Okay. So this needs to be... Ooh, no, thank you. Haha! Control E was added in 2016. Haha! Haha! Get out, Alpha. I hope that's legit. I'm gonna say it is. I'm gonna take that as canon. Thank you, Sapphire. Just to prove my point, I'm gonna make that canon now. There was no kappa, that means it's for realsies. Here's what I'm working on. I'm trying to make the hair pop a bit more. If you guys have any suggestions, source them at me. Okay. Ooh, I saw this before. Okay. I think you could make her buns a bit bigger, man. Go big or go home. Really thick braids, I probably would do. And I'm not sure if you're following a reference for this hair, but when I've seen like baby hair, normally it goes down the side. I feel like you're breaking your flow by bringing it down here. It feels a bit odd because you've got stuff coming down here, but it just feels really strange. I mean, I would like add some extra parts that kind of break away from that. And then you've got a lot of symmetry. In the baby hair, I would probably not have that much symmetry. I'd probably break it up where you can. But I make the buns a lot bigger. Oh wow, okay, she does bring them in the middle. I'd make the buns bigger though. Okay. Yeah, maybe break up the symmetry a bit, make the buns a bit bigger. She doesn't really have like a middle parting that you've put in, so what I think you could do is have some fun adding, you know, like a zigzag parting that people normally have, where the symmetry isn't there, and then at the front you can kind of see a little bit of her hair, like her skin poking through here, and that kind of goes up a little bit more. I would take a screenshot really fast, Eric. But yeah, I would definitely break up the symmetry a little bit more, make the buns way bigger, because it's kind of like you're making a caricature of her in a way, so you want to take that and like enhance them to kind of break her silhouette a little bit more. Yeah, she's really cool. But yeah, I'd bring the zigzag parting down the middle and show a little bit more of her skin all the way up.
What is it when you walk on rollers? You can perform for 1,000 people and you can't be honest with one.
But yeah, it looks cool. I like it. How long do we have left? Half an hour. Okay. Ew! Gross. I will be going in and retopoing it, yeah. Just so I can get some nice sharp edges. So I'm trying not to go into too much detail here. Just enough where I can like get enough forms that I can kind of go in and retopo it and then bring it back in. And then sculpt into it a little bit more. Do-do-do-do. So it's going to be a bit messy, but I will be going in and kind of changing it up. Hey Nee, how you doing? Man, I love zigzag partings in hair. I'm just going back to what chat was saying earlier about how it's a good idea. Like I love doing it. I love breaking up partings. I think that it's the most fun thing you can do when it comes to how do you tackle the wraps on my handle? I would be a dirty cheat if I were to sculpt it. I'll show you how. Just held down snap for Maya, not for ZBrush. Awesome. Kind of how I would do it. Oops. Ooh. So he's got like a bit that goes down the middle of it. All will make sense. So I'm just going to use this to kind of boolean out that little shape. Because I don't want it to be too deep. So if we just turn live boolean on and we make this a subtractive, kind of see how it's like taking a chunk out. Could just do it in the texture as well. Probably would be a lot easier. So many fucking flies. Going to use live boolean to kind of cut the shape out of it. And then you're going to get that edge all the way along. But to be honest, what I'm probably going to do is just use hard polish. But that's like one way you could do it. Because I don't want the edge to come to a complete point in the sculpt, because then it just gets too thin and too fiddly to use. But bam, bam. That was like one way that I was thinking of kind of doing it. Okay, how long do we have left? 20 minutes. Hate it when you have like really long models. You're just like, I can't see what's going on at all. Just apply that real quick. Take hard polish. probably just enhance this in the texture as well. Just look how thin that's getting. So yeah, probably not. Probably just remodel it a slightly better way and then do it with subdivisions and pinch that edge. So then it looks good. How I would enhance it on the texture is just by adding a darker edge that instantly makes it look like it's there. But to be honest, what I'm going to do is probably remodel it. So then it's, I can kind of like subdivide it in a way that it will enhance that peak. Because that was quite a rough model that didn't really look that great. It's pretty simple. So I'll probably end up remodeling that. So we got to retopo this with this. We'll probably blend these two things together in a minute. Just want to oop. Okay. That's already starting to feel a bit nicer. It's not for any particular game. I don't own the concept. The concept is done by somebody called Shen YH. You can find him on ArtStation. So I wouldn't be able to make into a game. Plus, I don't code or anything like that. But it will be game res, so it'll be built as if it should. So it'll be built in a way that it can go in a game. Be totally ready for that. But it's not for any particular game, no. Final poly count? I don't know. I'm not done yet. Don't know what it will be. My rule for poly count is often don't be ridiculous, so I'll try to keep it as smart as I can, but I'm not quite sure yet. Because there's a lot of elements on him, so probably quite high, because there's a lot of ornate pieces that I need to try and fit in. Make that wrap around that. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I think that's the best explanation. As many as necessary, but as few as possible. So I think my Genie Kid is 10,000, but then my last project, Gully, was about 60. My project before that, she was about 100 because she had a lot of hair cards and a lot of pieces. It's kind of, it's really dependent on the visual style you're going for, because a lot of the time hand painted can be really low poly because you're going to paint in a lot of that information and it suits the style if it's lower poly. It kind of, you can master it in a way that your poly limit also enhances the visual. But when it comes to like stuff like this, it's kind of, I use as much as I need to retain the shape and as much as I need for deformation, and then that's it. But if anything has hair cards, that instantly makes it like normally way higher res, like way more. I think a most recent character I did that had hair cards, without the hair card, I think the hair cards added 25,000 to her. Without that, she would have been fine. No, I think it was about 15,000 for the hair, because she had really long hair. So it was kind of like the budget was 20k and I got the character done in 15, but then her hair added 15 to it, so it was kind of like we ended up going over budget because hair cards are normally quite costly. Hey Giovanni, how's it going? But yeah, polys also depends on the platform you're working for. But to be honest, a lot of the time, memory issues, any performance issues normally come down to textures or shaders. Well, no, shaders are cheaper than textures. They normally come down to textures or like bone count and all that stuff. Normally, topology isn't the first place you go to if your game is running slow. So there is a bit more of a you can get away with using more polys. The game that I worked on, we, rather than using textures, we cut in details in the mesh because it was cheaper. Kind of want to add like some kind of yeah, I kind of want to curve that, if anything, to be honest. It's going to look a little bit wobbly. Texture resolution, it'll probably be a mixture, because I'll probably put all of his deco pieces on one texture, which will probably be a 1024 or a 2048, and then his face will be on another, so it'll be a lot of small textures probably. I like to group them up where all the metals are on one, all of the skin is on one, all the fabric is on another, especially like for a huge project like this, so it'll probably be a lot of and I always do them at 44K and then bring them down to 2K, otherwise it's going to look really pixelated. So probably going to atlas them all some way. Post-processing eats up, yeah. It's the earliest I've been awake in weeks. What? It's not a thing to say since FPS are not a linear metric. Oh no, Snaps. Oh, Snaps piecing out of that conversation. Gonna have some tech people coming at you. Yeah. You find, in an art sense, in what art can do to help keep the memory down, often it's post-processing and textures, often. And animation, like how many bones there are, how many frames you're using. If you have tons of bones, it's like, I don't want to get techie. No, do it. Sometimes it's interesting. Gotta contain myself. But yeah, normally whenever I've had to do optimization, often it comes down to bone count, frame count and animation. If you have like 30 frame animations, they're going to be a lot higher than say the 12. And texture sizes and sprite sizes are often where all the memory goes on the art side from what I've experienced. Very rarely is topology an issue. How high poly can you go for games? How long is a piece of string? I couldn't give you a number. I couldn't be like this many. Also, it depends on how much is in the scene and is being rendered by the camera. So, if you have a character and it's something like 200K, but it's the only thing being rendered, you could probably do it. But also it depends, is this on a PlayStation? Is this on a PC? Is this on a mobile? Like, it depends on completely so many different factors. Does it have textures? Yes, no. So yeah, I could never give you an answer to that, I'm sorry. Alright, we have 7 minutes left. We made this thing, I guess. $200K on a 2DS, yes. Is there culling in the scene? That's another one, because culling will basically get rid of assets you're not looking at, but... Alright, so this is the crappy sword we started off with, this little one right here. Look how beautiful it is. This was just my test to figure out what I wanted to do. So this is my crappy starter one. And now, if we... Let's go to this one. This is what we got. I need to rebuild this blade. There's a lot of polish that needs doing. And then if we turn everything on, stabbing him through the chest, you know, standard elf stuff. But I need to make the blade a lot sharper because it's too round, I think. From the concept, they literally just go to points. I think that's just because to do a lasso point like that is just much faster. So I'm not going to take this too much to heart and copy it like to the exact. I'm going to use it as more of a suggestion that it's a sharp blade, and then probably get rid of the curve at the end. I'll probably just be like, oh, just gonna do something like that. The end, you know. At least they're rocking. Get out here, YOLO. Leave. Hey, Yone. How long have you used ZBrush? For about 3 years now. Did you forget to make the blade double-edged? I think I'm not gonna do it double-edged. I don't know. I can still make the blade. I can still change it. It's still changeable at this point. So I'm just gonna delete this. Change is bad. No more change, please. Looks pretty dink. Nah, it's looking good. I'm really happy you did one with me, actually. It's pretty cool that you made a sword with me. It's like, oh, besties, besties for life. I'm looking forward to seeing this done, actually. It's gonna be really cool. I really like the aesthetic of this. But yeah, I think what's to be done on this now is I'm at a point where I can probably retopo a few of these pieces to bring them in and subdivide them and clean them up, make them look nice and tight. Super tight. Added another image. Where? I saw this one, right? So gonna make it look super tight. I'm probably gonna change this pommel because the pommel's kind of butt ugly. So I don't quite know what the shape is or what it's doing. Is that a hole? It looks kind of like it's a hole. I don't understand what's happening here. It's so confusing. I'm actually kind of starting to figure it out the more I'm staring at it. Like, that's the information I have. That's the information I have right there. It's awesome. I'm not gonna project after retopo. This DynaMesh sculpt is ugly. I'm using it as a way to retopo it, and then I'm just gonna use the retopo and clean it up and add some bevels and stuff. I'm not gonna be projecting this because look how wobbly and gross this is. But yeah, the more I'm actually looking at this, the more I'm thinking that it has kind of like a rounded top. So it's kind of like, and that it's kind of like this. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. But yeah, anyway. Insert meme. Which meme though? Okay, who is next? So that's it for my stream. I made this sword. I hope you guys like it. It's gonna need a few more hours to clean it up and make it look tasty. I love having the kids around for the meme. I'm gonna go get some Nando's. I'm hungry for chicken. I want it so bad. So I was gonna say in a few hours, but not in a few hours. At 4 p.m. PT, we have Tony Leonard going to be doing ZBrush for 2D line art. He does like absolutely rad sculpts and then kind of does like robots and stuff. And then renders them out like they're 2D illustrations. It's insane. So if you want to see that, make sure that you tune in at 4 p.m. I will see you guys not next week, because next week is ZBrush Summit, so there'll be the ZBrush Summit on the channel. Hopefully. I think so. I would assume so. Assuming is wrong. But anyway, yes, it is. The summit is going to be on. It's going to be awesome. So I'll be on the week after that at the same time. I'll see you guys then. If you want to catch me on my own channel, it's Unicorn Dev. I will be on at Monday. Maybe Sunday if I'm bored, but Monday. So I'll see you guys there if you want to. Thank you so much for hanging out and have a good weekend. Okay, bye.